move might make your head blow off.
Hey yo, it's a talk show host, Kana Lassiter. Join me for an episode of Relations, the most lit hour of adult conversation.
Hold up, you know you can't forget about me. It's 51 Spade, Alpha Male God, one half of Relations. You wanna hear the truth? Can you handle the truth? It's where it's at, baby. It's where it's at, baby.
What's good? Welcome to an all-new episode of Relations. My name is Kana Lassiter.
Say it with me now. Alpha Male God, 51 Spade, a.k.a. the ninja you love to hate. I'm in the building.
Well, you know how we do it. We do 2 topics in 1 hour. The first topic is self-sabotage. Why not just tell the truth? The second topic is loving your partner in their love language and not your own. Let's start with self-sabotage. I think that self-sabotage is probably the least understood topic that women, and both men, because I know both sexes can self-sabotage, but I think it's one of those things that people have a lack of understanding about, because usually self-sabotage is linked to something a person is doing to sabotage their situation. But I don't think they know they're sabotaging it. That's why I say it's the most misunderstood topic. Because you don't say to yourself, man, I'm sabotaging my own relationship by a certain behavior. It's just that behavior is sabotaging your relationship. I don't think people do it with the intent of going in and sabotaging. So that's why I say it's misunderstood, because you don't know it when you're doing it. It takes someone else to point out that, hey, man, you realize that's self-sabotage, right? You realize you're sabotaging it. You're putting everything on the line based on just what's in your head or based on something you feel like you need to hide. It's kind of like you're just making the situation a lot worse than what it needs to be.
I don't think that apply for everybody, though. Some people go into some shit knowing that they self-sabotaging. Like, you're not going to tell me, like, everybody that self-sabotage don't know that that's what they doing. So, like, if I have a, like, to give an example, you know, in this free game, a lot of times, I'm gonna speak from a man standpoint. Let's say, for instance, like if I'm in a relationship with a woman and everything is going good, I notice that if a woman steps out, she starts to act different, but she does that, to me, self-sabotaging on purpose, because she's treating her mate totally different. So he's catching the brunt of bad shit, and the other guy's catching the bliss. But she goes into that, to me, knowing that you know what's gonna press a guy button. Most women know those things, so you know what's gonna piss me off. You know how to kind of treat me to make me feel less than. So they go into that knowing that.
I mean, I guess if you think of it that way, if someone already has something going on and they need a way out, then yeah, that is intentional self-sabotage.
Yeah,
because you're intentionally trying to set the relationship on fire to give you a reason to exit.
And if you look at the topic, you say, why not tell the truth? So my thing is, instead of just saying, look, I don't think we should be together no more. The spark is gone. We're just not working out. You self-sabotage it to make the other person leave, to kind of make you feel better about it, even though you're the one that's doing the dirt.
So a good example of that is, I really have this other situation. Mm-hmm. Really don't want to break it off with them for whatever reason. So I'll just say I'm too busy. And every time they want me to come over, I'll just say that I can't. And so that's an example of, they'll just leave me alone because I'm never coming through.
Yeah.
So that's an example of what you're saying.
Or you fucking somebody else, because some women don't like to fuck 2 dudes at one dude. So they just fucking one dude and starving out the other guy. And the guy's going to notice.
Damn, she ain't came around and got no dick. She got to be fucking somebody else at this point.
There you go.
So it's self-sabotage instead of just breaking it off.
So who you say sabotage more, women or men?
I kind of feel like it's a little bit of equality there.
There we go, a little bit of equality.
I do, and I'm just gonna say, I think the self-sabotage is just delivered differently. I think.
Pray tell.
I think men. If I have to just take personal accounts, if I had to say in my situation, has my spouse ever been a self-sabotager? I think that the only thing I could point out, if there's a difficult fight, I think one of the biggest things, a self-sabotage characteristic of a guy, is to leave. I know women do it too, but in my life, I think that's the only example that I can use. It's like, okay, we're in the middle of this big ass fight, you know, saying like, I'm not good enough for you, or I'm a bad guy, I'm a jerk, you know, I'll just leave. Or, this is a good one, if you leave me, I understand. I think in therapy, therapists call that gaslighting. I don't know.
Yeah, I was just about to say, but that's not self-sabotage.
But no, it is. It's definitely self-sabotage.
No.
It's just because the guy can't say. Well, maybe it's not. Maybe I'm thinking.
No, it's not.
Because
if you listen
did put "why not tell the truth" on the end,
and that's
kind of changes the
and
context.
that's what I was about to say. Because if he ain't shit and he tell you he ain't shit,
but sometimes they're not saying, "Hey, I ain't shit." They're just saying, "I ain't shit, man. Just go ahead and leave me." That's them not really wanting you to leave.
Well,
that's them laying it on thick, saying, "I'm not shit. You can leave me, and I'll understand." No,
that ain't holding it on thick, because
Yes,
nine times out of 10, if someone is answering that question, that's because a lot of bitching that came right before that of saying what they not doing, and then that's the response that a man would typically do.
Yeah, but it sucks. It's stupid. It's stupid.
Nah,
you know why? This is
stupid.
why it's stupid, because it's low key's reverse psychology. Women, even though we're fighting, to a woman, they don't see that argument ending in you leaving and them going sleeping alone. We just don't. We're just having an argument. At the end of the night, we still need to go to bed together. It's just a fight.
Yeah, but y'all don't think about a lot of shit like that can end up with you still being alone. It ain't really got nothing to do about that. You go through phones, you could end up sleeping alone then. At the end of the day, I'm just saying.
What I'm saying is, it's not said sincerely like that. It is said almost like I'm throwing the hook out there and I'm like, you can leave me, but that's not throwing the fish away. The thing is still reeling. Like the fish is still coming in while you're saying you should swim away. So that's not being sincere. That's just putting something out there to keep you from having to come clean, or to keep you from having to really get to the meat and potatoes of the issue that you're having.
Okay, so tell me the difference between that and what women do, or what you think.
The difference between that and what women do?
Yeah, because to me, what women do is a lot more.
Women definitely don't do that. That's definitely a man
it's a lot
thing.
worse than what y'all do.
I can't pretend now. Honestly, we've been doing this show for we don't say seasons because we're not actually.
We're in season 2.
Right. Okay. So we're in season 2 of Relations. In the first season till now, I don't understand women, and it's weird for me to say that because I do the show from a woman's perspective.
Oh.
But women have shown me that they're just, if I'm being nice, different. Just different.
A different species, huh?
Different. Like real mad different. They say one thing, they do another. Mm-hmm. They say they want certain things, but they don't do what they need to do to get it. Mm-hmm. I don't know. It's just weird. It's just weird for me. I'm in a weird place right now where women are concerned. Probably the weirdest place I've ever been in life.
Now imagine what a man go through if you a woman and you can't even explain like a woman's thought process. Imagine a man. Like when we look at some of the shit that go down, like I can go simple, just real simple. Like fellas, like just ordering food is a task. Like you can ask them if they want something to eat. They don't know what they want to eat.
we know what we want to eat. We just want to get what you're having. Because ultimately, if we say we want steak and potatoes.
What kind of sense does that make?
It makes a lot of sense.
It
because
makes zero
Let me
sense.
explain to you. I have to explain.
You can explain.
What do you want to eat? You know what? I got a taste for spaghetti. I don't want spaghetti.
You don't. Women, hold on. Stop. Women don't say that. They always say.
No.
They always say they don't know, and it's followed up with a follow-up question.
Yes.
What do you want to eat?
And basically, you know why? Because we're simple, and basically, whatever you're having is
simple?
fine.
They ain't nothing about y'all
because
simple.
whatever the guy is having, you're gonna be like, you know what? That sounds good. You know why? Because we're agreeable. Fuck simple. Women are agreeable. If you want to have hamburger and fries, cool. Now we have a plan. We're having hamburger and fries. If you ask me what I want to eat, and all I'm concerned about is what you want to eat, I don't have a plan, and it's chaos in my head and in my kitchen. I don't know what the fuck we doing. If you just tell me what you want, we can skip all the bullshit. I will take the ground beef out, slap them patties on together, toast this brioche bun, and make you some sweet potato fries. I have a plan. That is most important to a woman.
That's the
is
most
to have a plan.
retardedest thing I've ever heard in my life.
Whatever.
Like, at the end of the day, you think I'm going to ask you or care about what you getting on your plate?
Yeah, because you're not, first of all, you're not a woman, and number two, you're probably not in the kitchen having to make two meals. I'll make me some spaghetti and make you hamburger and fries. That doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense to anybody anywhere in the world. A woman is going to make one meal to feed the whole household. She ain't making spaghetti for her, turkey sandwiches for the kids, and hamburger and fries for the guy.
I'm not finna deprive myself because your ass can't eat what I can eat. If I have to sacrifice and make just 2 meals, that's just the only thing that's going to happen. You ever notice at cookouts, like guys, we do the cookouts. We just making everything. We got hot dogs going on, buns. We got fish fry going on, shrimp. It's amazing how we got a whole bunch of fucking food out here that we cooking at one time, and you talking about you
That's
can't
a cookout.
And you talking about you can't make
Not
2
a
meals.
Tuesday.
You talking about you can't make 2 meals in the kitchen. You understand what I'm saying? Like, does this make any sense?
There's not even no organization in that.
It's no.
There isn't.
How is
You
that?
don't go into your kindergarten class and be like, you know what? I think we're going to do numbers and words today. You pick one and you stick with it. God damn.
What kindergarten you went to? Because they do not do it like that. That's why they are broken up in a section, and they do math
making an exam.
and words. You use the wrong shit. See what I'm saying? Like, it's easy. This is the problem. This is why you can't decide on food. You done forgot how school work.
I'm just saying, it's just not cohesive to have spaghetti on the stove and then try to cook hamburgers and fries. That's all I'm saying. It just doesn't go together.
They 2 simple meals. They just
But you know what? But I don't mind eating the hamburger and fries. I don't mind it. You know, it's just extra. You know, because I want spaghetti. Do I not like hamburgers?
You know what's so crazy?
If I didn't like hamburgers, that would make sense.
Your example that you just gave, okay? I'm gonna give an example. Your example that you gave, even though you saying, hey, it's a little too difficult to cook 2 different things. I've watched women cook 2 different things. They cook me like regular fries and them sweet potato fries.
That's a side, not a whole fucking meal.
So hold on. Okay, so a burger and fries is so difficult than spaghetti. I don't know what kitchen you in. I can cook. I don't think those are difficult to do at the same time. Especially since most people use ground beef in their spaghetti. So just what's to throw a burger on a skillet?
Do you know what? It's not a big deal, but the most simple part is we don't mind eating the hamburger. If you don't mind me eating the hamburger,
I don't mind. I'm just saying, get what you want. That's the discussion that we're talking about right now. Get what you want, not what I want. Like, because what y'all end up doing is like, you don't want that, but then you want to get on my plate. You want to grab my shit. You want to let me get some of that, and if I don't want to give it to you, I mean. Because
that's just self-sabotage.
Because I asked you, how was that?
Because now we've been having a bad night.
No, self-sabotage is what you doing, because you could have just told the truth and said that you really wanted some damn crab legs instead of saying, no, I'm not sure what I want, and then I get there with some crab legs and all of a sudden, let me get one of those off your plate, baby. I asked you this before I left. This is the reason I asked. Remember we was talking about math, a little bit earlier, like words and math. See, because I would have calculated for you to have some extra legs if you just would have said that. Not, you don't know, not what I'm having. You just say what it is you want. And then everything goes smooth. You're self-sabotaging. See how this works out? Like, this shit ain't even hard.
It's not self-sabotage.
And that's the other thing. People don't like to admit shit. Like, even when they self-sabotaging, it's just like a klepto. A klepto just don't know they stealing. You know, you be like, anybody seen my lighter? And they got the lighter in their hand. It's like, come on now. This is simple.
It is not that simple.
We
used a very simple, basic example.
We did.
But it's really not that easy.
So, what is the reason then that you think people can't tell the truth and then decides to use different methods to try to push somebody out of their life? Because since we talk about sabotage, because I noticed that with a lot of women, that when guys are dealing with women, I often tell, I've had to tell other peers and stuff like that, women move different. Like when they self-sabotaging, they don't even act the same, and those be major clues. So instead of just saying, look, I don't want to be with you no more, they start doing shit like not fucking you, start dressing different, start doing shit that start talking back to you, have their chest be pumped out, and they just acting totally different. Mm-hmm. Instead of just saying, I don't want to be with you no more.
It's only a hard one because, first of all, I'll blame it on the shortage of men. That would be a reason. The shortage, just rocking the apple tree, shaking the apple tree. Sometimes I think women are careful about doing. That's number one. I would say number two, not being sure about your other situation. Now, I'm not 100% like argumentative behind my reasons. I'm just trying to give you some fair reasons why women would choose to kind of, because it's not lying. It's just kind of putting the ball in the other person's court to help to make them make the decision, because you don't know. You're not sure. If you are between, it isn't. If you're between a rock and a hard place.
So if it was flipped around, you would say that the guy didn't lie to you. That's what you would say.
I don't know. Because I think men and women are different. And I think when men lie, they lie. When women
lie, they lie. I mean, a lie is a lie. Like, what you trying to say? Is some different shit going on in this world?
No, I'm just trying to say that the intent is different. If I am pushing you away, or if I'm holding something back, let's just say that, okay, fuck it, I'm not sure, I'm with someone else right now, but I like this other guy. Not sure I want it to be completely over because he has some good qualities, and this guy over here, even though the sex is good, he's been doing some shit that I think is gonna piss me off. So I may hold sex off from this guy, but I'm not totally wanting him out of the picture based on the fact that I'm not sure about this guy over here. I'm not 100% sold. And I think men are guilty of the exact same thing, just differently. And men do it, I think, a lot worse, because you could actually have sex with two different people. I think you guys manage things much better. So when your question was who self-sabotage more, I will say women, because management skills, I think, are a little bit less when it comes to women managing more than one relationship. I think men have more practice at it. I think they're better at managing it and not being funny, but it's in your DNA. Your great-great-granddaddy was a hoe. So you know what you're doing. And that's just it. So I think that self-sabotage has kind of become a way to have the other person implode, to give me, okay, push me away. Do something to make my thought process makes sense because I'm not quite sure that you're a piece of shit. Show me that you're a piece of shit so that I could be definitive that you're a piece of shit. You know, I'm not going to call you a piece of shit and then act like you're a piece of shit and deliver on that because there's still something about you that's not piece of shit-ish. So I need you to be a piece of shit more consistently to make my push-out game just a little bit more stronger, a little bit more aggressive. And I just think that has to do with women just being meager. Oh, I'm seeing someone else. I don't want to see you anymore. Sorry, somebody else is getting the pussy. Women don't talk like that. So I think that's where self-sabotage comes from.
Maybe you should.
I don't think we ever will be. It doesn't feel right.
That's why y'all heart always broken though. I'm just gonna give you some real G shit because some of that shit that you just said right now, a lot of it is a lot of kerfuffle. At the end of the day, y'all have management skills. I don't know where you get that shit
Not
from.
managing several relationships. We got management skills when it comes to domestic shit inside the house, managing one house.
And what is y'all whole
and
period?
Your kids.
What is y'all whole period then? Because you managing a bunch of dicks then.
In your whole period, yeah, but you don't even got to manage because everybody knows what you're doing. When I say manage, I mean keeping everything in its perspective place.
And that's what you do in your whole period. You keep everything in its perspective place. Like you ain't gonna have Tom and Seasmore come over at the same time.
No, but Tom and Seasmore probably know that's what's going on.
Fuck they don't.
So it's easier to communicate because they know that.
No, the fuck they don't. I don't know what.
You know what? That's not true.
That is very much true.
When you're whole stage and you're not in a
relationship. So you telling everybody in your whole stage that about one another. That's what you're trying. That's what women do.
No, I'm not saying that we told them, but I'm saying that could be insinuated based on the fact that one, you said it's my whole stage, and number two, my whole stage was in college. Well, we didn't have a conversation about commitment before we fucked. We just fucked, and when we seen each other at the frat party the next day, we said, hey, and we kept it moving. So it did everything that was, it didn't need, what did they say? Things that are understood don't need to be said.
But you
so that's what you're going through in your whole period.
But you're managing, you still have to manage your whole period. You ain't going through that shit just blindsided. Like, you ain't just doing that. There still has to be some organization that goes down when you shuffling dicks. You ain't just in this motherfucker like, oh yeah, what needs to be understood needs to be understood. Because I guarantee you that anybody that even went through a whole period, you done ran into a situation that if you did come clean, you probably lost one or two. That's called not managing correctly. You fucked around and told someone what you think needs to be understood because guys are very territorial or not. They are territorial. So you fuck around and tell the guy the wrong thing, and he gonna show your ass a peace fingers. So you ain't just going in that bitch just, well, you know what I'm saying? My management skills ain't that great, so, you know, whatever needs to be understood. No, it don't work like that. That definitely isn't happening. Okay? And to move on to another thing that you were saying is like, even if you still have the opportunity to say what it is that you want or don't want. I just feel like a lot of times with women, since you sitting there saying like, well, I'm not sure if he's this, I'm trying to see if he's a piece of shit. Like, y'all already know that it's a piece of shit. Like, this is why y'all go through phones. Like, before you get to the main conclusion, you already have everything racked up. He's already a piece of shit. And you just moving on to the next thing and just haven't shut the door because y'all saying shit like, well, I need closure and all this other type shit. Like closure for me is a nut. Like, that's closure for me. It's over with. It's a wrap. Like, we want to get one fuck in. I don't need to know the whole story of what you did with Tyrone.
Okay. That's cool. I don't want to tell you everything that I did with Tyrone.
I don't want to know.
Oh my God. I cannot. I get what you're saying, but you do need to keep in mind, I think the smartest thing I said tonight was your great granddaddy was a hoe.
Well, see, this
and men know how to do what they do.
And see, this is the thing. That's not necessarily true either, because you're talking about a small percentage of men that's actually will do that, because there are men out here that are faithful. That narrative about like men cheat at an alarming rate and all this shit. Men and women cheat at damn near the same percentage. So it's not like it's just over fucking whelming. Because you picking the pieces of shit and not taking accountability instead of taking your ass to the places that you really supposed to be going to. When you ask women majority of the time where you meet these men at, bars, clubs, like
self-sabotage.
Like, is it? Are you serious? You think you gonna pick up? That's like me going to a strip club thinking I'm gonna find my wife. The only thing I'm finding there is a fun night, not a wife.
I think self-sabotage basically leads to, or a better definition of it is bad choices. Making choices that you already know are bad, period, but you need a way to sabotage the relationship indirectly. I think it's the way to implode something indirectly around the corner because you don't want to blow it up straightforward. So I think that's the idea of the conversation, and what self-sabotage really, really is allowing a situation to really make it look like it imploded itself and you had nothing to do with it when you actually planted the seeds for it to blow up.
I can see that. Yeah. I can agree with that.
Yeah. So we're going to switch topics. Before that, I want to remind you guys to tap in and let us know any situations of self-sabotage, whether you are someone who's sabotaged a relationship or you know someone that it is. Make sure you tap in. Our next conversation for tonight is actually about the 5 love languages. And we had spoke about love languages in a couple topics before. And we said we wanted to dedicate a show to it, not to the love languages themselves, but the topic itself is loving your partner in their love language and not your own. And that is so key. It's crazy to me because a female that I met last summer, I didn't know anything about the love languages until she put me on to them. But what I'm realizing is, even if you know these, they still have to be exercised. After you find out what your love language is, you immediately have to find out what your partner's love language is, because that's how you have to love them. You have to love them in their own love language. So let's start with the actual love languages. There are 5 of them. The first love language is words of affirmation. Oh my God, you look great today. So your partner might receive love by hearing you tell them how beautiful they are, how great they are, how much you love them. The second one is quality time. That's my love language. You have to show me you love me by spending time with me. It does not work by text. It does not work by any other means other than being present. We don't have to be on a date. We don't have to be home. We can be anywhere as long as we're together. Quality time. The third one is physical touch. That's on my list too. Quality time and physical touch are hand in hand. I'm a very sexual, affectionate person. And then there's acts of service, doing things for the other person, maybe give them a pedicure or a massage. And then the last one is receiving gifts. So if you've identified your love language, so I'll use myself as an example so everybody understands. My love language is quality time. So the way that I love my spouse is I always want to be with them. But my spouse might say, I don't feel loved. And I would be confused by that statement, because I would say, I spend all my time with you. What would be the mistake? Hopefully you guys on the other end of the camera are saying your mistake would be is quality time isn't his love language. His love language is acts of service. So whenever you want to make him feel loved, you should give him a back massage. You should rub his feet. You should suck his dick. That would be considered an act of service, and that's how he receives love.
Sucking dick on that list?
Acts of service is, and that sucking dick is an act of service. Don't y'all think so?
I'm just asking.
Shit. Last time I checked.
I'm just asking. Is it on that thing?
Or he might just be someone who likes to receive gifts. You know, so I mean, be careful, because I'm really, weary of those that come seeking gifts. But this is maybe someone's way of receiving love. And you know what? I'm gonna take that back. I've had issues with people using people, but receiving gifts probably is a very valid love language based on the relationship with your parents. I have a friend of mine who her parents were never home. They worked, both of them, almost 24 hours a day. And every time we turned around, she was getting something new. I got this, I got this, I got this. This was their way of showing her love because they weren't home all the time. In turn, when people give her gifts, she feels love because that was the way she was shown love. So I think by looking at these love languages can really help couples understand each other and build meaningful relationships if they really break it down and look at it the way that I did. Because I am guilty of someone's like, oh my God, I know my love language. It's quality time. And I am someone who imposes quality time on everybody that I love in my life, not really paying attention to whether they need that quality time. Quality time might be the complete opposite for them. And so you have to love the other person in their love language.
Mm-hmm. So what's the topic of this that you're trying to say? What's the point?
Loving your partner in their love language instead of your own, which could be difficult. If I like quality time and I'm trying to give my partner quality time, but that's not his love language, you don't understand that's a horrible feeling fight because I'm only doing what I know and what I love. And I'm passing my love on to someone only to be rejected by doing something good. Mm-hmm. So it takes two people to understand the dance and what's going on and not take it to heart that quality time isn't your partner's love language and you're not being rejected. That's just not the way they receive love. So I think it's a fair conversation to have in depth because it's probably a pretty sucky place to be and hard to fight out of it. Because again, all I'm doing, how do you argue with your girlfriend when she's trying to give you quality time? How do you say, well, quality time ain't my motherfucking love language, bitch. I don't want to spend no time with you. You can't.
Yes, you can.
No, you can't.
Yes, you can.
No, you can't say that.
Yes, you can say that. See, this is the motherfucking problem right here.
like, who would say that, though?
Me. I would say that. And I'm quite sure it's a couple of motherfuckers out here that would say the exact same thing. See, the problem with this is this will never work. Has to be a female or somebody who came up with this shit. Because men don't even think about this shit. I can line 20, 30 dudes up right now and be like, hey, what's your love language? You know what that motherfucker gonna do? He gonna look at me like I'm motherfucking crazy and say, what? But for some strange, odd reason, you have a string of women that's like, oh my God, my love language is caring. Oh my God, my love language is giving gifts. I done told y'all this shit day in and day out ever since I've been on this show. The reason this shit doesn't work out like that because relationships are not equal. This is why this will not work. Your love language is what you say it was?
Quality time.
Quality time.
And physical touch.
Now, I'm gonna show you something. Just about every man. I was riding with my lady one day. This was not too long ago, and she was like, damn. The dude down the street for us got a TV in his goddamn garage. She was like, talk about getting away from your wife. And if most women have noticed, man caves are popping up all over the world. We've figured out ways to keep y'all ass away from us. So even though your love language may be quality time, and you keep saying, well, how can someone say something? We ain't got to. Just lock the door, go in the man cave.
But that feels bad.
To who? Watch this. To
us.
Exactly. And this is what I've been talking about.
Well, that's why we're talking about it. It feels bad to reject someone who's trying to show you their love.
But this is why.
That's like telling a dog that's licking you not to lick you. That's the only thing he knows to do to say that I love you.
Okay. Got you. Now, my shit is receiving gifts. Now, this is where shit tends to get tricky since you want people to follow you real quicker. And this is why this shit doesn't go on the scale. This is even why men be quiet all the time. I like receiving gifts. I like a blowjob, this and that. But sometimes I want one from another woman. I might want a threesome or so. I might want your ass to go on vacation somewhere else without me. But am I going to get this shit? Because I just turn around and say, hey, man, it's my love language. Why won't you just give it to me? Because it's my love language. And she going to be looking like your ass because she ain't going to want to give me my love language because it only matters to you when it's about your love language. See, when men are involved, our shit is on the bottom of the list. Take example for like Mother's Day. You ever see the gifts that mothers get during that time? Get the red carpet ran out for them. Know what gift I got this year? I don't recall getting one. I have 2 kids and I don't recall receiving one. But I bet you they mama got a gift. Got some roses, got something, got took out to eat. Know what dads get?
Zilch.
And my love language is like receiving gifts. And I ain't got fucking one. So I'm trying to figure out how this shit is fair. I'll wait.
That's like on an individual like thing.
No,
like we're talking about as a whole.
No. This is not as a whole. It's not as a whole.
But listen.
I'm listening.
I think that women would take, and it's funny coming from you because you're right. Men don't have the conversation about love languages and they think things like that are lame. But it would actually help their relationships tenfold.
Let me make this clear. It's not that men think it's lame. It's not reality. That's what it is. It's just not reality. Because imagine saying your love language or something. Like when I just said like I like receiving gifts. If like another woman to me is a gift. But you ain't gonna see it that way. I could say that's my love language all day. But you gonna be like, I don't give a fuck what Shanique is. That bitch got to go. Like, you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And even though you're saying, well, I want the quality of time, there are certain things that will work in y'all favor. And there's a bunch of shit on that shit that won't work in a man's favor. It just won't. So that's why majority of men are not going to care about this, because we are very calculated and we make sense of a lot of shit. If some shit doesn't make any sense, it's just like, what am I talking about this for?
Okay. At minimum, let's say you're right. It's just not a man thing. At minimum, I think it would help men at least treat their women a little softer when the woman is acting out her love language. Quality time, again, or physical touch. I want to make love tonight when you have a headache or your back hurts, or we want to be snuggled and you want to be alone. There's a way that you can handle that based on the fact that we're not doing it to be annoying. And that's why I think these are important. That's why I brought up the girl that received gifts as a child. So that in a whole, people could say, oh,
but let me show you
she was a latchkey kid. She spent a lot of time alone and her parents show her love by giving her gifts. Understanding someone will help you handle the person with kitten mittens on instead of being so hard.
Gotcha. Let me show you something. That same scenario that you just gave about the woman, that hey, when she was smaller, like she received gifts. That's the way that the parents showed love and shit like that. Let me show you something. Like I was a latchkey kid, and my parents spoiled me with shit. And to this day, I don't like gifts.
You just said receiving gifts is your love language.
But I was giving examples of different things. But what I'm saying is, like, gifts do not impress me. Like, I'm not saying I don't take gifts and no shit like that. What I'm saying is, like, gifts do not impress me. When people give me shit,
because it's the opposite.
Yeah, it's an opposite effect for me. Because as a guy, I much rather my dad spending time with me, playing ball with me. You understand what I'm saying? Being in the stands when I was playing sports instead of not being there. So me receiving gifts meant like nothing. Like it meant absolutely nothing to me. Yeah. So when I receive gifts now, my kids be like, well, open your gift now. And my girl be like, well, ain't you going to open your birthday present now? Trying to shove it in my face. That's why I be like,
I'll open it later. Yeah.
I'll open it later. Because what's good for one person isn't always good for another. So even though that might be the scenario, for her, that's cool. That's the way her brain works. That's the way but that's not right for everybody. And that's the problem with the love languages, is because each individual is different. And people receive shit different. Some people are calculated people. Some just fly by the seat of their pants. And some of the love languages are not defined down to things. So even though you might say, hey, she just likes receiving gifts and this is a thing for her. But now you're talking about a male that received gifts as a kid and got just about everything I asked for Christmas and stuff like that. But gifts don't mean that much to me. Now, a woman want to give me a threesome, give me some extra pussy, some shit like that.
So that's acts of service.
Yeah.
So
I'm good.
yeah, you're an acts of service type of guy. But do you agree? Do you agree now, just having the conversation that, okay, this is a person who, if I want to show her love, I need to go spend quality time with her and give her physical touch. You know that to be fact. Mm-hmm. So now you're aggravated, in a bad mood, don't want to be touched. At least knowing that is the way she receives love and the way that she's trying to show you love. Doesn't it help you understand to maybe handle it different other than saying, I need space?
Men actually do understand, and we do it in different ways. The problem is a lot of times if you showing your woman affection and you take your woman out, you take them dancing, you do some of the things. The problem is women, when you give them an inch, they like to take them out.
I knew he was finna say this bullshit.
You know, and it's like at the end of the day, it's like y'all don't know when to cut the shit off. You understand what I'm saying? And I feel like, damn, like you should know how to cut it off. And
do you know how to cut off pussy? Or we got pussy coming over 7 days a week. You're gonna be like, you know what? I think I just need to stop this.
I ain't had 7 days coming off.
Stephanie, you go home.
I ain't had 7 days of pussy coming over no day. And on top of that, even if I didn't know how to cut it off, my dick will cut it off because I won't be fucking all 7 days. So even if that was an option, I couldn't even go for that long amount of time.
Not that many pounds.
And on top of that, a woman actually wouldn't even understand that, because if you ask her that, well, why do I have to give you women 7 days a week? Because you have me. You understand what I'm saying? Well, if this is my love language and this is what I want, I would be like, because this is what makes me happy. Having both of you here, you is an option. Or you watching me pound this tenderoni thing is a good thing. But see, you're not going to understand that shit. And this would make me happy. You understand what I'm saying? But now you want me to show you the affection and that. And it's really the idea of you don't know when to cut it off. And I think that's when you run into the aggravation mode. Like a guy could spend all day doing that. And then, hold on. And then the next day, y'all over us. Like you'll wake up on our back. I'm not saying that it's a bad thing. I'm just saying that's how it is. It's almost like a kid. Like if you get some kids, some shit, you're like, hey, you can get a little bit of this ice cream. Ice cream. It's like it just won't even stop. It's like it got to be a cutoff point at some point in time. Like can't have ice cream every day. You understand what I'm saying?
Ice cream. You know what? And when I will only agree because when I am loved correctly and my love language is being exploited, I am so very happy. But those are linked to endorphins that our bodies biologically release. So it is like a drug. But you guys have to, you know what? Men have to understand science better. I think all of us have to understand science better because there are things that are going on in your body chemically that are controlling your urges and what it is you feel like you need. And I think if you understand people biologically, it also helps you treat them kindly. There's this thing in my mind. I saw 2 shirts today. 2 people wore the same shirts. It says, be kind. Not who raised y'all ninjas. It said, be kind.
Yeah, but this is
we
the ultimate
have to
question.
try to be kinder to each other and understanding people's emotional stuff and their biological stuff will help you. It's just like this big deal that we're having now about police officers approaching people with mental health issues. Yes, their body language is alarming because they're rocking back and forth and they're not answering any of the questions that you're asking. But that's because they have a mental health issue. So you can't You can't react off of what they're doing physically. Inside feels a lot different.
Gotcha.
So I think if
But
we
the police
really
officer has to be trained. And if he's not trained correctly,
these are the
he would
conversations
know how
that
to do
train
that.
you. These are the conversations that help. This is training.
Gotcha.
Talking about the 5 love
me ask you a
languages
question.
and understanding them is training.
Can a mental health person kill a cop? Can he harm him?
I think they can. I think if they can prove that they have a mental illness, they could actually get off on it. They can get away with
But
it.
that's not what I asked. I said, can he hurt the cop?
Yes, he can.
So this is why the cop approaches with different type of analogies and things that he's assessing. And this is also the way that men think. I've been asking for a Father's Day gift for about 4-5 years now. And I've asked my daughter, hey, you have never cooked for me. Never cooked for me. I don't know how to cook. I don't like cooking. I don't like this and that. I'm giving the information of what I like because this is my love language. But you know what? But her mother's birthday rolled around, and all of a sudden she was like, "Guess what, Daddy? Guess what I cooked?" I was like, "That's strange, because you told me you don't like to cook." Did I get a meal? No. I said, "Well, when you gonna cook for me?" Well, see, this was like an experiment. So even your mom gets an experimental cook, but I gets nothing. See, this is the thing of what I'm talking about, why I'm trying to tell you that even people that know, even if you tell them what it is, the chances of you getting this, you might be waiting until we fly to the moon. Like, I don't hold my fucking breath. You know, a lot of times that's even why men don't say shit. Mm-hmm. Because when we say things, they just get underlooked, or it goes in one ear and out the other. And especially when you're talking to women. Like, women hear specific things. I hear women often say, hey, men, like, y'all have selective hearing. Women have selective hearing too. I ain't exiting us out of it. But women have very selective hearing. And even if you tell a woman, like, hey, if we on a trip, and I tell you to go around the room and search the room before we leave. Not get all the way to the airport and find out you left your wallet there after I told you to go around this room 5 times. I think somebody stole my wallet. No one stole your wallet, you left it. But even though you told this person this.
Do you have a point?
Well, you just said that long as you know the information, that this might help if guys know it.
It would help, because it would certainly help men be kinder to their women.
Weren't you the same
Hopefully,
women a few
if
minutes
the
ago
other way
saying
around,
you don't understand women? That you just don't get them?
Yes, I did.
Okay, so this is the thing that I'm trying to say, is that trying to figure out women, like, we have a lot of shit going on in the day, like work and other things. So trying to figure out your love language.
I think that it's not about figuring it out. I think once you know, because first of all, you have to know what the love language is. And I'm not saying that it's going to work perfectly every time because you know their love language. I'm saying that it will help you handle your partner better if you knew that's what they were doing. Because men will say, oh man, she's just getting on my nerves. Oh man, she's just up my ass. Oh man, she's every time I move, she moves. Because those are physical things she's doing, but in her mind, she's just exercising her love. So to tell someone to yell at a dog for licking you is cruel. Because the dog is saying, I love you with every lick. So to kick him when he's saying, I love you, doesn't make any sense. So it's the same thing when a woman is trying to hug you or cuddle with you and you're pushing her away. She doesn't understand that, because all she's trying to do is love you. If you know that's what she's doing, then you're going to tell her to go away differently than the kick. You're going to tell the dog to go lay down instead of kicking him, because you know, oh, I love you too, but go lay down. You're just going to talk to him differently because you know now what his intent is. His intent is love, not to get you wet. My intent is love, not to give you a headache. So if you know that, then you're going to deliver your push away.
So my question to you is this.
Kinder.
You're trying to give me love, but you're giving me a headache. So who counts?
You know what? I
can't
win.
I'm maxing the question. This is a serious question. Like, we're both trying to respect each other's love language. So what I'm saying is, You trying to give me love, which is your love language, and I understand this, but you giving me a headache. Who is winning this battle?
No one is.
There you go. This is why.
But this is why we're having the conversation.
I got you, and I'm willing to have it. I'm just telling you why it's gonna be a
because
little bit difficult.
It's not, because all it changes is really your verbiage. It changes your delivery. You know what? Quality time is not my love language. Right now, love language is act of service, and I would really like my dick sucked or my feet rubbed. In most cases, if you could just say that, you know what I mean? Maybe we would feel like sucking your dick or rubbing your feet, because it's still quality time. It's just that I'm not up under you now. Now I'm actually doing something that you like. So now I'm spending quality time giving you an act of service. Do you see how we just did that? Now everybody's happy.
I'm gonna tell you a story. My lady one time, she often like showers me with a bunch of what you call it? What's the third one? What's the third one?
Acts of service, words of affirmation.
She does that, but not what you're talking about. Showering with the gifts. I mean,
receiving gifts.
Yeah, no.
Acts of service.
No.
Physical touch.
There you go.
Okay.
Physical touch. Mm-hmm. So she's often trying to get me to touch her. She want to hug. She want to kiss. These are definitely not mine at the end of the day. And sometimes she'll be like, you know what I'm saying, come fuck me or some shit like that. So I was like, gotcha. So one day, totally caught her off guard. I was like, you want to come give me some of that throat? And she was like, why do you have to say it like that? I was like, say it like what? This is how you sound when you come at me. I'm like, it don't sound that attractive, do it? See, it's different when it's on a man's foot. You see what I'm saying? Because when the women are aggressive with you, the man just supposed to take it. But see, when the men get aggressive with the woman, it's like, well, whoa, what are you doing? So when I was like, hey, I want some of that throat right now, she didn't seem to understand that I was speaking my love language.
It's time for the tap in portion of the show. We about to tap in because I can't do it. I just can't. I have zero energy for alpha male tonight. I can't. That whole throat comment is just not right.
See what I'm saying? Now why I can't want what I want?
You are just something else. Here is our tap in for this evening, ladies and gentlemen. I started dating this couple during COVID and got swept off my feet. We broke up for like 2 weeks and I started seeing someone else. I eventually started talking to the couple again, but never resumed sleeping with them. And now I have two situations that I don't really want to walk away from. What do I do?
Self-sabotage. You already did it. You self-sabotage. Because, like, really at the end of the day, if you fucking someone, when, like you said, y'all lack management skills, I just told you that I'm going to say as a man, so I can't speak for the woman. But I have had a scenario like this just happen. I'm telling my old lady that, hey, the girl fucking someone else. And the woman is in denial. Not the man. Because women move different. Like, we notice things like that. So she's actually, there is nothing what to do. You've made a decision on what you're actually doing. Because if you're not fucking with them no more, they feel that automatically. And if I say, like, if we're really, really sexual active and I ain't seen you in a month or 2 or 3 weeks, my natural instinct is going to go to you fucking somebody else. So there ain't nothing to be done. You made your decision, stand on it. That's what I would make you do. And if I was that couple, just because I'm on the couple side, I don't know why, but I just feel like that today. It's words of information. That's just how I feel. I would make a stand on that shit.
I think she should come clean. Because I don't feel like she'll get I think
come clean
women,
to who?
Both. I think both. She has to.
Why?
Because you don't always know someone's answer. I think women always feel like they're going to get the worst outcome. If I tell this couple that while we were broken up that I started seeing someone else, something bad is going to happen. But you're making something bad already happen by not being around. There's something negative going on, just not in your present. But the couple is probably having negative conversations or having negative feelings hurt, whatever it is. You're already creating a big storm of negativity by staying silent and just doing whatever it is you're doing and letting it implode. She's letting it fall apart on its own by not saying anything. I feel like if she said, hey, this is what happened, we were broke, because one, she technically wouldn't be wrong if she engaged in something with someone else while she was broken up with the couple. Gotcha. So if she's doing a breakup and she met someone, but the people that she fell in love with over the summer have come back around, that's a true rock and a hard place. Doesn't make her a bad person. It just puts her in a tough spot. But I think she's already.
But if you broke up with the couple, that decision was already made. So there is no reason to hide or do.
That's why I said she should just say to the couple, hey, when we were broken up, I started seeing someone else. But she obviously doesn't want to break up. She just said, I don't want to walk away from either scenario. So maybe she wouldn't have to walk away. Maybe the couple would say, well, okay, well, that's cool with us. Maybe we'll have an open relationship. What I'm trying to say is she doesn't know the real outcome. She has the outcome already in her head, which is what's scaring her. She already feels like she's going to lose one or the other if she tells the truth, so she's just not telling the truth. You understand what I'm saying?
I totally get it. Self-sabotage. I mean, that's just the way that I look at it. I mean, there is really no way to explain, because if you didn't cut one person off, they've already been cut off. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So when you're asking what to do, like I said, you might as well just push forward to whoever you fell in love with. Why are you even hanging on to the couple? Like, you ain't in love with them.
Obviously.
There you go.
All right, this is another episode of Relations. Make sure you tap in by contacting spadeperry@gmail.com or Kana.Lassiter@gmail.com. Again, my name is Kana Lassiter, and you can find me on Facebook, IG, and Twitter at Kana Lassiter.
You can find me on both platforms, 51 Spade on Instagram and Twitter. I want to thank everybody for joining in on Podbean. Please follow us on relations.podbean.com. And if you're looking for these shirts, it's alphamalegodcreation.com. I want y'all to follow us on YouTube. Every Friday we're coming out with new episodes. Please subscribe to that. Follow the channel. Hit the like button. The whole nine. We need you to do all that. And like I say, I want to say about that time.